Are you tired of your kids' atrocious handwriting? Me too. So I'm going to introduce you to Wizards Writing. I developed this curriculum when I noticed my kids' handwriting was not where I thought it should be for their ages. They are at this moment 8, 10, and 13, and honestly, they all needed a little bit of help with their letter formation. I would say it's legible, but unless they're planning on becoming doctors. But I also knew that a lot of the more traditional handwriting curriculums would be way too young for them. They did not need a full 36-week curriculum on how to form each single letter. So that's why I decided to come up with something a little more fun, something where the repetition wouldn't be quite as just write this letter over and over and over, and something that I thought I would enjoy too. So I'm just going to go through really quick and tell you what you can expect when you get your package of the Wizards Writing. The first thing you'll see is the teacher's manual. And this is going to go through where to start, and it's going to have all of the instructions. And it's going to walk you through the entire process. So first, you're going to do an assessment, which is how you can tell where your kids are and which letters they need to work on. So I know, especially my 13-year-old, he does not need to go through every single letter, but there's some that he just doesn't form correctly. The assessment will be maybe a 10 or 15-minute thing where I can watch him write each letter and determine, is he forming them correctly? And if not, then on the assessment, I'll circle it so we can go back around and work on those letters. The second thing you're going to go through is pencil grip. It is amazing to me how many kids just don't have a good pencil grip. I might hold it like a fist instead of, the triangle grip, I think is what they call it. There's a lot of really easy ways to fix this, and I have some suggestions in the teacher's manual. The next thing is you're going to make a wand. Now, of course, this isn't mandatory or isn't necessary, but it makes a lot more fun. We made wands. They're really, really quite simple. And there's also instructions on how to make pencil wands, because writing with a pencil that's a wand is a lot more fun than just writing with a regular pencil, in my opinion. And then it'll go through, depending on the assessment, where you're going to start. So if your kids are younger, they can absolutely use this. If you have preschool age kids who do need to go through every letter, it starts with the movements they need before they start writing the letters, and it has that whole sequence. And then it'll go through capital letters, lowercase letters, and numbers. If your kids are older, like mine, and they just need some of it, then you can start with that. This is not a mastery-based program, so you don't have to go through each one, but you might choose to. It's up to you. So then in the teacher's manual, there is also some sample schedules. So I made one for the younger kids. So if you are going through all of them, you're going to want to follow one of these schedules. But if you have older kids and you don't want to work on handwriting every single day, or you don't need to do all the letters, I've got the schedule in there for that as well. Now, after you're done with the teacher's manual, there are student pages. Of course, you'll use these as you go through the entire program. So if we want to look through these real quick, there are full-size sheets for each letter. As you can see, it tells you what spell it is. So for letter T, it's called Tergio, and this is a spell to clean up a mess. So if we were going through and learning the letter T, the first thing I would do is demonstrate for the kids how to do this, and I would probably use my wand. And I would say, first you're going to do a long line down, and then you're going to do a shorter line to the side. And we call that Tergio. And then as we go through it, we're going to say the spell out loud. And we're going to go Tergio. And then I'd probably have a mess, cleaned up or something, and we'd play with it and make it fun. These are in both black and white and color. If you like an older look, how spell pages kind of have that brown tea stained look, I have some that print that way. Or you can print it black and white on colored paper, which is a way to save a lot of money on ink. So there's one for each letter, uppercase and lowercase. The next thing is cards, and this is kind of the same thing. It has the same spells for each letter, and it also shows you how it's formed on the lines. These are good for if you want to do writing in sand. You can prop these up and then write it in the sand. Writing in slime, in paint, whatever you want to write in. There's a ton of ideas provided in the teacher's manual for how to do things with these cards. And once again, they are provided in black and white, but also with the color. And I would probably laminate these to use over and over again, especially because then you can use them as tracing cards. There is also a writing sheet for each letter. This is just good writing practice. It shows you up here how to form the letter, step by step, and then it has space for you to do it down here, including a dot on where to start, because that helps kids start at the right place. I noticed the biggest problem with my kids is they were starting in the wrong place and going in the wrong direction. That was almost any letter they weren't forming correctly, that was almost always a problem. And then not every letter has this, but a lot of them do. So for Thai, at this point, they would have already gone through and learned T, I, and E. There is no letter sheet like this that includes a word that has letters they hadn't learned yet. And there isn't a suggested order, and it's usually an order of ease. So, T is a lot easier to make because it's two straight lines than like S, which is pretty curvy. The next student sheet is which spell will you use? And the idea here is they pick a letter. So if you did F, and I can't remember, I think F is finito, and that is to stop a previous spell. So you might say F goes with the comet, and they would draw a line connecting them because you want to stop the comet from coming. Or if you did, L is lumos, you might light something, you might light the wand. There's really no wrong answers here. There's some answers that are better, but this is meant to be creative for kids just to be writing and practicing their letters. Another student page we have is the roll a spell. And here they're just gonna roll whatever they roll and then trace that letter and then see which one they get the most of, is the idea. So once kids have gone through all their letters, or if they've already done all their letters and they're forming them well, they just need more practice, there's two other activities for them. These are read, write, spell pages, and there's two levels. So the first level has shorter words, and then the second letter has longer words. So the idea is first, you're just gonna look over it, maybe even trace it with your finger. The second one, you're gonna trace it, and the last one, you're actually going to spell it, but I thought it was kind of a play on words. You're gonna write out the spell and do whatever it is. And then there's copy work. I know a lot of kids don't love copy work. I have found that providing them with copy work that is a little bit interesting to them or relevant to something makes it a lot easier. So there's two levels of copy work. The first one is shorter ones. All of the ones provided with the wizards writing are Harry Potter related because Harry Potter's wizards. So this one's I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. And then there's space underneath to write it. And then the second level is longer ones. And again, these are all related to Harry Potter. I tried to pick some really uplifting quotes that are positive or have a good message. So that is what's included in the wizard's writing. I hope this answers some questions. If not, feel free to send me an email. It's erin@royalblue.com, and I'll have it on the page. And I hope you enjoy it.